Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. We sure appreciate your attendance. If you get a chance, say hello to us. We love that, doing the roll call in the morning. And thanks for coming on, guys, as you get your notifications. If you want, if you can, say hello. We love saying hello to Andrea and Bonnie and Brahim. Brahim will tell me he's number one, but Rosalinda, Niagara Falls, good morning. Hi, Nellie. How you doing? And Wendy from Markham. Sandy from Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Patricia from Florida. Janice from Brampton. And Nativity, a dear friend to the program. Fran. We love you, Fran. You know that. Sharon, Kansas. And Denise from Chatham, Kent. And John, our friend from Elgin, Illinois. Bonnie from Little Britain. And Sandy from Chilliwack, British Columbia. Thanks for coming on. Hi, Leela from, it's Lily, Ottawa. Sorry. Barishan, how are you? Brahim saying he's number one. Lucille. And Madeleine, Kippawa, Quebec. Karen, Peterborough. Karen, Innisville. And Sharon from Kansas says she's number one. I think you're close. Veronica, Carol, you're number one. All of you are number one in my heart. Cheryl, West Virginia. Hi, Gwen. And Francis from Vaughan this morning. Sylvia from MISSISSIPPI. Lori, Cambridge. Dennis, Norwich. Karen, Sue, St. Marie, Darlene. Alberta. We love Alberta. Marine, Boca Raton. How are you, Marine? Rita, Dave from Muskoka. Sherry is from Mississauga. Wendy from Aylmer. Maria from Ottawa. Elaine. Thanks for saying hello, guys. Hi, Ann in Lively. Gary from Bolton. Arlene is on with us this morning. And Wanda from Virginia. Judy, Port Perry. And Mary, how are you? Jean from Peterborough. A couple of more, guys. Cheryl from Lighthouse Cove. Judy, in the clouds. Yvonne, how are you? Dave. Kristen. And with Cindy, yes, from Saskatchewan, Arlene. Mara and Milika in the clouds. Herma and Elaine, we love you. Suzanne from Edmonton. And Marlis from Manitoba. And Bonnie from Annandale, Minnesota. Beverly from New Brunswick. I love it, guys. We're coast to coast. Canada, the United States, a lot of times from other parts of the world. We've had them on from Australia, in Europe, and Donna's in Newfoundland. Adeline, guys, we love you. Gonna say hello to Doc McCune. I talked to her yesterday. Okay? And heading to Tennessee for a conference not this Saturday, the following Saturday, at the University of Tennessee. And looking forward to that. Cecilia, Rose, thanks for coming on. Okay, let's do, hello, Martin. How are you? Happy Easter without chocolate. I love that. Adrienne, hello, from Quebec. And, okay, yeah. Easter, guys, without chocolate, okay? Now, we're going to be on, by the way, tomorrow, okay? Planning to do a show tomorrow morning, Good Friday, okay? And for those in our book club, Rebuild Your Temple, Beyond, tomorrow morning. Planning to do that, okay? Now, let's talk about a couple of studies. And a new one out on MS, okay? Multiple sclerosis. More prevalent today than it ever was, okay? Look at the stats. These neurodegenerative diseases like MS, like Parkinson's, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. These neurodegenerative conditions are much, much on the increase, okay, today. And it's not even close, guys, compared to what it used to be. Now, MS has been around for a long time, but it's worse today. And this new study is saying it's caused by, okay? Look, they've always known that MS is an autoimmune disease. The body turns on itself. The immune system turns on itself. You know what they never knew is why. Why didn't they ask me? Why didn't they ask me? I would have told them. And not to be, guys, not to be arrogant or anything else. But when you have a neurodegenerative condition, where does it start? In the gut. Now, this new study is saying it's caused by, okay, inflammation. Okay. You're getting there. You're getting there when they say in this study, chemical reactions caused by inflammation destroy the neurons, okay, your brain cells. And it's specifically in MS, it goes after the myelin sheath. You have a sheath that protects your neurons, your nerves. And it's called your myelin sheath. And the inflammation goes after that and damages it. And they said, we finally have a cause. And I like it because they're getting there. But what they're not saying, and you know our saying here at The Doctor Is In, what do we say? Well, inflammation is not Houdini. What does that mean? Well, it just doesn't appear. There has to be a cause of inflammation. So when they say inflammation is at the root of this MS, and by the way, even in medicine, they'll acknowledge that inflammation is at the root, they say, the root of chronic disease. I remember a colleague of mine, he was a reporter. I went over to France with him. And he was a medical journalist, really, really smart. And he talked about inflammation and wrote about it in a book called The Inflammation Cure. And he's passed away now, but when I was going to France with him, because I was presenting, this is a long, long time ago, guys. I was presenting a paper on chronic fatigue syndrome. And over in France, and he was talking about inflammation back then. And you know, you got to understand, like if you go back 30, more than that, 35 years, 30, yeah, around there. Like inflammation was kind of new in a sense that it's not that we didn't understand inflammation to the extent that you get injured, you got inflammation, you got a bad cold, you have inflammation, your head inflames. Well, it's your body's ambulance system. But what was very little known at the time was that inflammation, if it doesn't go away, becomes very damaging. And he was one of the first people to ever report on that. I found it fascinating. But inflammation's not Houdini, guys. It just doesn't appear. You have to go down another layer. Why? Why do we have inflammation? So if they say inflammation is the cause of MS, they've missed one layer of it. What caused the inflammation? Okay? They don't talk about that in this study, and they should. And that's why, I find it fascinating that they're on to inflammation is your friend until it's not. It's like insulin. Insulin's your friend until it's not. Inflammation is your friend. You want it. You have an infection. You want inflammation. You want your body to rush in with extra proteins and enzymes and healing factors and blood supply. You fall on your knee hard. It hurts like the dickens. You want inflammation. And, medicine, hey, I understand why they do it. They want to put you on anti-inflammatories. Okay? And that's, guys, just a Band-Aid. They want to put you, for example, you have an injury, they want you to ice it. I would never that big on ice. Okay? But anyway, that's a whole other topic. The point is that we have to go down another layer. What is the cause of inflammation? They agree it's autoimmune, MS. But let me bring you to another layer. What causes the autoimmune? Always. Leaky gut. Leaky gut. Leaky gut, leaky brain. It's when you have a compromise at the southern border. It starts there. You have two borders. They're invisible. You can't see them, but they're there. You have a border between your blood and your gut, and you have a border between your brain and your blood, the blood-brain barrier. It's a great barrier. You need it. You don't want stuff coming into the brain that don't belong there. So we're going down a little deeper. What are we saying? Well, leaky gut is the cause primarily of inflammation in the brain. It's going into a deep dive. And I'm 100% convinced of it. Now, what causes leaky gut? The number one cause of leaky gut, and I don't even think it's close, is the use of antibiotics. We always go to the root problem. What causes leaky gut? Well, there's nothing like antibiotics that will save your life but they're a double-edged sword. They carpet bomb your border. They carpet bomb it. Because they don't care, an antibiotic doesn't care what's in its way. If it's good bacteria, bye-bye-lo. If it's bad bacteria, bye-bye-lo. Okay? Goodbye. It kills it. And that's great. Except it also kills your good guys. It kills the border guards, especially at the southern border. I've been saying that, guys, for so long. Okay? For so long. And I talked about that. And I'll give you an example. I talked about it years ago, even talking about autism. Well, where does it start? In the gut. And sometimes starts right in mommy's gut. Antibiotics, again, it's not just antibiotics, but I always tell people, okay, you know this, I'm a why guy. If MS is where it is today in numbers that are crazy compared to before, if Parkinson's is crazy numbers, if ALS is in crazy numbers, and autoimmune diseases are in crazy numbers compared to what they used to be. Why? I'm a why guy. Why did that happen? And like I said, when it came to chronic fatigue syndrome, and as I was crossing the ocean with my friend, who became my friend, he wasn't my friend, but colleague, we were discussing this. I said, well, I got to tell you what I found out about chronic fatigue syndrome. And I was presenting a paper, but I actually had published a book. He was fascinated by it. He wrote about it. CFS. Based on the clinical findings that I saw. One of the first guys to talk about leaky gut. One of the first guys to talk about adrenal gland exhaustion. Like cortisol. Never getting turned off. Anyway, so what happens at the southern border? Now, there's other factors that we can talk about that. Like, we live in a toxic soup. 100,000 new chemicals have been created since World War II. And the vast majority of them we find in our homes. We're surrounded. We're in a toxic soup. We talk on this program almost every day about microplastics. They're everywhere. They're in the water. They're in the soil. They're in your body. You can't avoid it unless you want to. We could have all jumped on, what was that space shuttle called yesterday? I guess if we took off with them and we stayed in space, we wouldn't get any more maybe plastic. I'm not sure about that. Pesticides and herbicides. They're everywhere. You can run, but you can't hide. So that's why, like these canary in the coal mine people, MS, there's other factors. I mean, leaky gut, like I said, to me is number one. Another source of inflammation is insulin resistance. Your cells develop a resistance to insulin. Now we're bringing you to the diet. The diet. What's changed in our diet over the last 50 years? Well, the amount of sugar that we eat. We're up to a dump truck load, 200 pounds, plus they changed the sugar. The sugar's not even the same. It's much more toxic because it's high fructose corn syrup. It's in everything, from soda to crackers. It's in everything. And it's an onslaught. What does that create? I mean, besides fatty liver, inflammation. Your body doesn't even know what it is. Man-made high fructose corn syrup. It pours on visceral fat around the organs. That causes inflammation. Your body responds to that fat. It's not subcutaneous under the skin. It's around your organs. Big factor. Then you have the double-edged sword of inflammation is oxidation. There's nothing that'll oxidize the brain and the body more than sugar. Why is that? Sugar's toxic. The world doesn't know that. The world tries to moderation. But you and I, we know better than that. Sugar, ask a diabetic. You want proof? Ask a diabetic. Why are they much more susceptible? 50%, I should say. More likely to have a heart attack, more likely to have Alzheimer's, more likely to have kidney disease, more likely to have cancer, why? What's diabetes got to do with cancer? Everything. What's diabetes got to do with heart disease? Everything. Because sugar is toxic. What has diabetes got to do with the brain? Well, we talked about that yesterday. In the muscles. So guys, you have inflammation, yes, but why? Why do you have inflammation? Leaky gut. The environment. Stuff gets in. Now you have leaky gut, and then stuff gets into your tissue. It gets into your body. Your body responds to it. Your body knows that plastic don't belong inside of you. And then we, not only did we change the sugars, we changed the oil. You go through the middle aisles of your grocery store, and everything just about that's made there has been made with bad oils. Oils that are very high in omega-6. Here's how your body operates, guys, okay? You have omega-6 fatty acid, and you have omega-3 fatty acid. And omega-6, if they're balanced, well, your body can handle that. If your ratio is like 1-to-1 between your omega-3 and your omega-6, your body handles that. But what if it's like today? I mean, I've seen reports of 20-to-1, 25-to-1, 30-to-1 ratios between omega-6 and omega-3. And the biggest source of omega-6s is that oil that was meant for your car. You go to a fast food restaurant. What do you think they cook in? What kind of oil do they use? Are they using butter? No. They're using a seed oil. Canola, safflower, soy oil. It sounds good. except that it is so high in omega-6. And omega-6 to the omega-3 ratio is going to cause major inflammation in the body. So again, inflammation is not Houdini. There's a reason for it. So you have bad oil, you have bad flour, because it's not just sugar, it's sugar molecules holding hands. You need wheat flour and all that. Well, it's very inflammatory because it's devoid. It's a fast food. There's no nutrients in it, or very little. And so today's bread, for example, is nothing like it was 100 years ago. You got bad oil, you got bad sugar, and you got bad flour. Well, that causes inflammation, guys. And so, again, it's really important. So leaky gut, leaky brain. Look at MS. I always used to, my protocol for someone with MS, and we'll go into that. Why not? Let me just see how much time we got. Yeah, let's do that. What's the protocol? Well, you better fix the leaky gut. You got to start there, right? Like mend the fences. Put the border guards back. You got to fix the microbiome. Leaky gut. Fix that. Start there. Don't feed the yeast, because yeast is a carrier. Remember, again, that if the southern border, if it's not knit together, tightly knit, and you have a loose, the tight knit border is not there, you're going to get all sorts of things coming into your bloodstream that don't belong there, including the Trojan horse, which is yeast. It's fungal. And fungus, guys, through leaky gut, okay? Everybody has a little bit of yeast in their bodies, by the way. If it's contained, who cares? If it gets into your blood, not good. And you have an overgrowth. And yeast happens to be a carrier. It'll carry mercury. It'll carry lead. It will carry cadmium. It will carry aluminum into the brain. Especially when, if your gut, your southern border is affected, the northern border gets affected. The blood-brain barrier. It gets across it. Yeast can travel through the blood-brain barrier and bring toxins into the brain. It's a big issue. And your body responds, think about it, with inflammation. That doesn't get turned off. It damages the neurons. That's why I want to go deep. I want to go deeper into this, because I look at the why. I want to know why that inflammation is there. And I like the fact that they're at least at that stage, and they're saying, yeah, inflammation. And, let's talk about that. But you got to look at, okay, what caused the inflammation? So what do you do? Where do you start? We'll start with the gut. And guys, I want to talk about prevention of MS, of Parkinson's. Okay? 1, gut fix. Fix. Knit it back up. Hire more border guards. That's why. You think I'm not huge on probiotics? Oh, by the way, and I'll bring this out because it just came out yesterday. I'll do another one on autism. And what they did is they did a study with autistic kids and then treated them with probiotics, and the results were astounding. They should have asked me. I would have told them. Okay? Anyway, we'll get into that because it is a fascinating study. Leaky gut, guys. Do you know they don't teach leaky gut in medical school? They talk about digestion, of course. They talk about IBS. They talk about ulcerative colitis. They talk about Crohn's. They talk about diverticulitis. They talk about all those things. They're not even really teaching yet, a little bit, SIBO. But it's not even SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. It is SIFO. It's small intestine fungal overgrowth. They're not teaching that yet. They need to invite me. I will teach them. They'll never forget it. And so you start with the probiotics. And then very anti-inflammatory diet. Because if you do this, I'm going to tell you what it'll do. If you do an anti-inflammatory diet, what is that? Well, number one, we already talked about it. Cut out the sugar. You don't feed the bears. You don't want to feed yeast, which is a byproduct of leaky gut. You don't want to feed that. So cut out the sugar. We should cut out the sugar anyway. Okay? Make sure, okay? One, because what that'll do is lower insulin resistance. It'll lower inflammation. Really important. Now, this is very important too. Keep your liver clean. Keep your liver clean. What gums up your liver? Fat. How do you get a fatty liver? Sugar. Keep your liver clean. Okay? Keep your liver clean. Of course, drink water because that flushes out your kidneys. But it's really important, okay? Fix the leaky gut. It takes time. It takes time to fix that, but it's worth fixing. And change your diet. Really important. There's certain things that are very anti-inflammatory in supplements. Okay, very anti-inflammatory. Obviously probiotic, because that's getting at the root of the root of the root issue. Okay, but they're very anti-inflammatory because of it. So is curcumin. I love curcumin. Very anti-inflammatory. My protocol with MS calls for probiotics and high doses of curcumin. High doses of high DHA. DHA is your good oil. And it'll help balance that imbalance of the omega-6 to the omega-3. The more omega-3, especially DHA. Okay? EPA is wonderful. DHA, unbelievable. Okay? The more you up that, the more anti-inflammatory that is. It's taking the temperature down in the brain. It's lubricating, besides what it does for your brain in regeneration. Fathead, right? You want the right fat. Very anti-inflammatory. Lay off the carbs, the crappy carbohydrates. You don't need them. Your brain don't need them. seal up the borders. Big time. I love Navitol. You know why I love that pine bark? Because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. Proven. Blood supply. The more those blood vessels open up, the more blood supply, the more the healing. Very anti-inflammatory, especially when it's mixed in with curcumin and high DHA oil. Change oils. Do an oil change. Go from that omega-6 to omega-3. Change oil. Do an oil change. I don't know anything about my car. Nothing. What do I know? I know how to turn it on. I know how to put gas in it. That's it. What else do you know, Doc? Nothing. I know how to open the hood, but I don't know what's under the hood. Okay? But I know one thing, and my manual tells me, and everybody else tells me, you know what, Doc? You better change the oil. Oh, okay. Do an oil change. That's a big part of maintenance. Oh, okay. Guys, your body needs an oil change. Change oils. Don't put the synthetic in there. See, in your car, okay? In your car, I went for an oil change the other day. And I talked to the guy changing oils, okay? And I said, son, come here. I want to talk to you. What do you know about oil? Well, he said, I've been here for years. What do you want to know? I said, well, what is my car called for? He said, well, fully synthetic is the better oil for this car. I said, okay. Why is that? Well, because the engine is a finicky thing, and it really likes the fully synthetic oil. I said, okay. I said, can I teach you a little lesson? He said, okay. I said, well, you know your body? Yeah. I said, it don't want synthetic oil. It wants real oil. He looked at me like I had two heads. What are you talking about? I said, well, you see, when you go in the middle aisles of your grocery store, they use synthetic oil. That oil belongs in the car, but not in your body. Yeah? I said, yeah. I said, you want real oil. That's why omega-3 is real oil. It's what your body needs. It's what your body operates on, is that oil. Okay? It's in the manual. He said, there's a manual? Yeah, I said, I've written a lot of books about it. It's in the manual. What kind of oil for your body? Omega-3. And the best omega-3 oil is DHA oil. And it's not even close. Okay. I think I hit on everything I wanted to do. That was on MS. Okay. Okay, guys. I'm breathing. Okay, guys, we love you dearly, sincerely, and every other way. Tomorrow, even though it is Good Friday, it'll be Q&A. Okay? We're going to do Q&A tomorrow. I'm on. Lord willing. And Easter Monday, on. Okay? That's what we're planning. Okay. We love you guys so much. You're so smart, and we love you. Talk to you soon.